it's Aileen here. So I think I'm going to be doing multiple cosplay tutorial-esque videos for how I did my Rey cosplay that I'm going to be wearing at the upcoming Montreal Comic Con. So I'm about 80% through with completing my cosplay, but the one piece that I have completely finished is the staff. So I thought I would make a little video instructing how I made it and kind of a breakdown of what I did. So, this is the completed staff. It's very long, so I'm not going to be able to get all of it on camera at one time, but this is what it looks like. And I am just so proud. I worked really hard on this. The whole thing, from start to finish, on and off, took about 2 weeks, I think. Somewhere between 1.5 weeks to 2 weeks. So let's get started. Alright, so the base of the staff is a 3D print, which I got off Etsy from a seller called Bellmaker BY, I think. I'm going to put a link in the description. Who is a great 3D printing artist from Belarus. So I ordered the pieces individually. It was 17 pieces, I believe. And then I just bought a wooden dowel. I started out using PVC pipe, but the measurements were incorrect because PVC is measured from the inside. So unknowingly, I got 1-inch PVC, which is the size of this. But it's actually 1 inch on the inside, not on the outside, so I ended up having to switch to wood, which I like a lot better because it's a lot lighter. So this is a wooden dowel, and then I slid the pieces on individually, and I secured them with regular white glue because the fit was very tight, so I didn't need too much glue, and the seller instructed that the glue didn't need to be anything too special. But for these pieces up here, I just wanted to ensure that they stuck on, that they were more secure. So I did use a bit of hot glue. So once it was all put together, I spray painted it all, and I believe the color was like a rusted gunmetal. So it was like a very dark kind of shimmery black, so it did look a lot like metal. Then once it was all spray painted, I actually had just enough left in the can. I left this as wood still because I didn't have enough paint, but it didn't matter anyway because it was being covered. So then I weathered it using silver acrylic paint and brown acrylic pastel. So I put the pastel just in the creases, and I put the silver all around pretty much to make it look like kind of a rusted, like a worn in metal. And I put the pastel pretty much in all the crevices. So like up here in the crevice, here, 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 like all the little crevices, just to make it look like desert dusty. And then I used a bit of white acrylic paint and a tiny bit of the silver mixed together to create like artificial chips in certain areas. So my camera doesn't autofocus, but as you can see in the photos that I'm going to be including, I just put the white paint on subtle areas that it would be chipping, and that I noticed in the reference pics where it was chipping, so along like all the edges and stuff like that. So then I started on the wrappings. So I just got this fabric from my local fabric store. It's just like a regular brown cotton rayon type thing. It's a little bit stretchy, but not that much. And this is cheesecloth, and I just wrapped it around and secured the brown with hot glue, and I secured the cheesecloth with white glue. Bottom here is leather strips that I noticed it had on hers. She has a different leather material here from here. So this I got at a different fabric store. But yeah, I just wrapped that around and secured that with hot glue as well.
I won't give up, no I won't give in till I reach the end, and then I'll start again. No I won't leave, I wanna try everything, I wanna try even though I could fail.
This is fabric dyed. It was stark white, and I fabric dyed it using my favorite fabric dye of all time, which is actually called Desert Dust. So it's kind of like a brownie beige. And then for the strap, I bought this leather material from my fabric store, and I cut out two pieces which were actually H-shaped. And I secured the middle section because I knew that it was going to be how it's attached, and I wanted it to be sturdy, so I secured it with extra leather, so I just doubled it just in that section. And then I purchased these snaps and these clasps from my fabric store as well. So I added the snaps onto the leather piece with help from my dad. And then I weathered the actual leather itself because it was just a matte gray, and I wanted it to look a bit more metallic-y, so I added some silver acrylic paint over it. I just dabbed it over it. Then I also weathered these and the snaps with black paint. And so for this strap, I actually lucked out big time by getting this belt. It was a man's belt that I found at my local thrift store. And I was just so happy to find it because it's the perfect color and length and everything. So then I sewed on, I sewed it onto the clasp here. And up here, these are the buckles that actually came with the belt. I kept them, I just weathered them a bit. And I put them in so that I can adjust the strap like that. I mean, ideally I would have one with a middle piece, but I didn't want to make another trip to the fabric store, so I made do with these pieces, and I think it works really well for it. And everything is weathered right down to the cheesecloth. I added brown pastel just in certain areas, like on the ends, to make it look more worn. So that is it. Hope you enjoyed this walkthrough tutorial, and be sure to check out my other Ray cosplay videos. I'm going to be showing how I did her goggles and her costume. And I also currently have up a makeup tutorial and a hair tutorial, so be sure to check that out. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye!